Hey, Grand Rapids, did you know home prices are up 18.5% year over year? Welcome to the Grand Rapids, Michigan, Kent County residential real estate market update with data through May 2021. My name is Rodney Constable. I'm a realtor with Century 21 affiliated out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Home prices are up 18.5% year over year in the Grand Rapids area, with the average home selling for $297,319. 1 year ago, the average home was selling for $250,807. For years, I've heard people saying things like home prices can't continue to go up. Well, when I hear things like that, I think about the input costs to building a home. And some of the major input costs to building a home are land, labor, materials, and regulatory costs. So if somebody thinks that home prices cannot continue to rise in the future, what they're basically saying is that land is going to get cheaper and more plentiful. Labor is going to get cheaper and more plentiful. Materials are going to get cheaper and more plentiful. And the government's going to make regulatory costs of building a house cheaper and easier. And guys, when we just think about these four input costs, land, labor, materials, and regulatory costs, do we really think that any of these input costs to building a home are going to fall in the future? I doubt it. So if land, labor, materials, and regulatory costs are going to continue to go up, then home prices probably will continue to rise in the future as well. The average home is selling after being on the market for just 15 days. When we compare that to the inventory of unsold homes, we can see that those homes have been on the market for an average of 50 days. What these two data points tell us is that if a home is properly priced, it will sell in a relatively short period of time, right now in just over 2 weeks. However, if a home is not properly priced for its location, condition, and amenities, it will stay on the market for an extended period of time, right now just under 2 months. Next, let's take a look at year-to-date new listings versus the same period 1 year ago. So again, we're looking at the data from the first of the year through the end of May. And here you can see that we are down a little bit, down 0.5% year over year. Now, some of this is, of course, going to be due to COVID and just everything that's happened over the last year and a half. When we look at this data in a numerical format, what we can see is for the first 5 months of 2021, there were 3,931 new listings in Kent County. That is down 21 homes versus 2020. So not a huge change there. But when we compare where we're at so far for 2021 with 2016, we can see that there have been 1,044 fewer homes listed in Kent County for the first 5 months of 2021 than there were in 2016. That is 20.98% fewer homes to choose from. So think about that. There's been 1,044 fewer homes for buyers to choose from during the first 5 months of 2021 versus where we were in 2016. So this decrease of opportunity with the same desire to own a home has, to a large degree, been responsible for the increase in home prices that we're seeing in the Grand Rapids area. It's not the whole cost. As you know, land, labor, materials, regulatory cost, but also when you shrink the available supply of something, but the demand stays constant, the price of whatever that underlying instrument is, in this case, real estate, it has to go up. That's just the basic economics of supply and demand. Next, let's take a look at the year-to-date closed transactions versus the same period 1 year ago. So again, we're looking at the first 5 months of 2021 versus where we were in 2020. And we can see that as far as closed transactions, we're up 17.6% year over year. Now, when we look at this data in a numerical format, we can see for the first 5 months of 2021, there were 3,270 closed transactions in Kent County versus 2,780 closed transactions in 2020. So we are up 490 closed transactions. And again, that is that 17.6% differential that we saw on that slide there. Now, when we compare that data, though, where we're at so far this year, 3,270 closed transactions versus where we were in 2016, you can see we are still down 459 closed transactions, or 12.31% versus where we were in 2016. When you start at the bottom of this chart with 2016 and work your way up, you can see year over year, the trend has been that the number of closed transactions year over year has been falling. Now, obviously, we know that 2020 and even 2021 have been really impacted by COVID. The good news is what I'm seeing here in this data is when we look at the 3,270 closed transactions we've had so far for the first 5 months of 2021, and we compare that to 2019, the trend, it looks like it's starting to at least level out, if not reverse. So we've had about 34, it looks like, more closed transactions in 2021 than we did for the first 5 months of 2019. So at the very least, it looks like we're starting to level off and perhaps even turn a corner here where we can, see more and more closed transactions and houses changing hands, which from an economic standpoint is a very good thing. Next, let's take a look at the average months of inventory in Kent County. For calendar year 2021 so far, we are averaging 0.6 months of inventory. This is about 18 plus or minus days. Now, what this means is based on our current sell rate, if no new homes were listed in the Kent County area, we would be completely sold out of homes in the entire county of Kent County in about 18 days. Guys, that is an extremely low inventory number. And again, from a trend standpoint, if we look over this data going clear back to 2013, you can see this is by far the lowest inventory number that we have seen in many, many years. So the amount of available homes, the inventory, continues to contract. And again, just from a basic economic standpoint, all right, when you decrease the inventory of something, you decrease the supply of something, but the demand for whatever that is stays constant, in this case, homes, that in and of itself is going to continue to drive the price of that desired object. Again, we're talking obviously about real estate. That is going to continue to drive that price up. So why does inventory matter? Well, as we can see here, if you have between 1 and 2 months of inventory, you probably are going to experience double-digit price appreciation on homes. And that is exactly what we have seen for many years here in the Grand Rapids area. If you're running between 3 and 4 months of inventory, you would generally experience single-digit price appreciation. If the inventory built to where you had between 5 and 6 months of inventory, this is more of a normal, balanced, or neutral market where you might experience some price appreciation, but it would more than likely be in the low single digits. And if you're under 5 to 6 months of inventory, this is considered a seller's market, and that's exactly what we have seen for many years here in Grand Rapids. If you're over 6 months of inventory, this is considered a buyer's market. And if your inventory built to between 7 and 8 months, that's when you would most likely experience single-digit price depreciation. And then if the inventory built to 9 months plus, that's when you would likely see double-digit price depreciation. So 7 to 8 months of inventory, single-digit price depreciation, 9 months plus, that's when we start to get into double-digit price depreciation. If you would like to learn even more about the likelihood of home prices rising in the future, I would highly suggest you watch my information-packed Will Home Prices Continue to Rise video, which is out on my YouTube channel. I will also put a link to that video in the description box below this video. So what are the next steps? Watch my Will Home Prices Continue to Rise video, watch my other YouTube videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel for ongoing real estate education. Please give me a thumbs up on this video and other videos that you like. Leave a comment on my videos and share my videos on my YouTube channel with your friends, family, and colleagues. Also, please feel free to connect with me via social media and call me at 616-258-4782 if you are looking to buy or sell a home in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. Thank you so much for being on this video with me. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.